right now I'm totally addicted to Ruby TV. Don't miss it.
Denis Coderre is going to Afghanistan because he is going on a fact-finding mission. You know, Kandahar in Afghanistan, I think, cannot be used, you know, for photo ops for this Conservative government. He did go through a process. He did put an application in with the government. They sat on the application. We've learned that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Bernier, is going to be in Afghanistan, and I find it shocking that they could not find a seat on a government plane which is funded by Canadian taxpayers for Denis Coderre, who's a opposition defence critic, who's a former member of the Privy Council. I mean, he's not going to have any military briefings. He's not going to be allowed, from what we've been told, to go on to the base, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So what happened in Afghanistan? When did you go and how was it?
Well, first of all, I've been asking for several months to go before, and I've been stonewalled with that Conservative government. So they try all the techniques. You know, they were spinning and they were talking all the time, saying that, well, no, you can't, for all the reason. But at the same time, I knew that there was some media people who went there. You had also retired military who went there too. And I even heard that they were organizing with the business community. So I said, well, for the sake of democracy, I would believe that it's important as a defense critic. And we're all supporting the troops. I mean, we can have some questions on the mismanagement of that government and the lack of transparency, but we're all supporting the troops and we're proud of them. But I wanted to make also a statement for the sake of democracy and kind of have a regional approach to it. Because we all believe that in our party that the solution is not solely for Afghanistan. We need to have a regional perspective. So I decided to go through Islamabad. So I went to Pakistan, met a lot of people out there, and afterwards I decided to go to Kabul and then Kandahar. So of course I was going on my own. So I've been on a commercial between Montreal and London, London to Islamabad, but afterwards I was sponsored by an NGO. And because of that, I was able to fly through United Nations.
This is yet another secret policy shift without any consideration or consultation with Parliament or our NATO allies. Mr. Speaker, would this finally ensure that the Afghan detainees aren't tortured? And who would be in charge of this new Canadian Guantanamo?
Why is this government refusing to tell Canadians the truth? When will they show some accountability when it comes to managing the Afghan mission? How can Canadians have confidence in this government when even the Human Rights Commission has been kept in the dark?
Our men and women are doing an amazing job. We should be very proud of them. But at the same time, I feel that our government right now is playing like a menu a la carte. It's security first, and will attempt security and then development and then diplomacy.
So I want to talk to you about that. When the mission was first initiated, it was a 3D approach where we had development, diplomacy, and defense. And we've seen now with the Conservative government, they are focused almost solely on defense. I think the figures this morning were something along the lines of $3.1 billion spent, and in terms of the developmental aspect, I believe as of this morning it was around $670 million. So you have $3.1 billion being spent on the military aspect or the defense aspect, and only $670 million being spent on diplomacy. How has this mission evolved in terms of its mandate under the leadership of the Conservative government, number one? And secondly, if you can tell everyone that's watching, where does this mission need to go moving forward?
We need to be there. We shouldn't abandon the Afghan people. We need to rebalance the mission. By February 2009, we have a decision to make regarding our combat mission. So our position is clear. We liberal believe that we have to stay in Afghanistan. We believe in a mission in Afghanistan, but A, we need to stop the combat mission in Kandahar. Secondly, we still need a military presence regarding the training. If we want to help the Afghan people, they need to have the tools to take care of themselves. To do so, within the reconstruction, of course, you need to focus on institution, on governance and justice, for example, education. But for military purposes, you need more police, you need to build an army, and you need to put the time to help them. But you don't have to go through combat mission to that. Thirdly, which is the most important thing in my book, kind of the cement of the double Ds, it's diplomacy. You need to make sure that it is a NATO mission right now. It's not a Canadian mission, it's not a German mission. You have 37 countries who are there. but it's under the umbrella of NATO. And I really believe that we should have more a more aggressive approach from United Nations and the NATO allies. You will hear several words: rotation in an international mission, and right now Canada participates in 17 international missions. It is totally in order to and normal to have rotation. So we need to take a break. We need to get out of the combat mission, remain there, military help, but you know, other can step out.
When the Liberals sent in the mission, it was on a 3D approach on defense, on diplomacy and development, and we have seen clearly over the last 18 months the whole shift has been towards a defense component of it.